Nazis talking projects.
Everybody, welcome to our panel. We're going to be talking about dressing as a Ghostbuster, some of the uniforms, some of the equipment, and we'll be taking a lot of questions towards the end, but as always, feel free to ask as we go. We're going to start a little bit about ourselves. We're going to talk about our group, we're going to talk about ourselves, and then we'll get into the uniform and we'll go from there. We're the Ontario Ghostbusters, as if you didn't know. We are a non-profit group. We are raising charity funds, and we're also looking this awesome. And because we look this awesome, they asked us to do a panel, and we said okay. So my name is Briley Lapine. I've been with the group about 4 years now. I'm one of the executive members. Coming up on my right here is Michael Tagani. He's also one of the executive members, and he's going to be looking good off to my right.
Thank you.
Off to my left is Cameron Shaver. He is one of our top spokesmen, and he's going to be looking good off to my left. There you go. Do we have any questions to start? Something you absolutely have to know before we get going? Anybody? No? Okay, hopeful.
Ooh, look at that keen. I love that.
Hey,
in there.
always.
Have you ever made like one of those things with a big red button on it?
In fact,
Like-
if I have often said, if I could make something that just had flashing lights and a buzzer and a big red button, people would starve to death in front of it. Just because they press the button over and over and over again. If you've ever seen those wall of radios at like Canadian Tire where you select the radio and the amp and the speakers, there's always a crowd in front of it, and they always look a little malnourished. So I've avoided doing that just because, for safety's sake, really. I'm thinking of the general populace. But yeah, there's actually a couple of red buttons on it, and they see the most use easily. All right. Any other questions? All right, Mr. Shaver.
Perfect. Thank you.
Take it away.
Now, I come at the whole Ghostbuster and costuming and cosplaying from a little bit of a different perspective than Mike and Briley do. These two gentlemen are fantastic and highly skilled master builders. I do not possess any of those skills.
Shut up.
So what I'm going to kind of bring you through my decision to become a Ghostbuster and how I did that from the perspective of someone who can't build anything. And then Mike and Briley are going to jump in after me and give you the perspective of somebody who can build things and give you some more kind of tips on there. So depending on where your skill level is at and your comfort level is at, hopefully we'll be able to cover it all here. So so we're going to talk a little bit about the uniform. In order to go through that, the best way I think to do that is to kind of really show you and experience it. So now you right off the bat were very keen and asked some questions. Would you maybe like to come on up with us right here and get suited up like a Ghostbuster to help us demonstrate? Is that a yes? All right. Come on over. Okay, and what is your name?
Mara.
Mara, nice to meet you. Thank you for being voluntold. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to come on over here. So, any basic uniform is going to start with one of the most simple underlying parts. That's going to be the flight suit, the jumpsuit here. So we have some basic things on there. We have the name patch here. There's a slight variation on the name patch between Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2. We have the GB2 suits there, the blue. We're going to go with the iconic khaki. We have the logos on there as well on the shoulder. These, you can get them from a variety of different places. GhostbusterFans.com sells them in Canada. Army Navy Surplus?
ArmyNavyDeals.ca.
ArmyNavyDeals.ca is a fantastic place to go as well. We're going to throw a bunch of things out there, a bunch of terms. What the heck is a belt gizmo? I can't remember what that is. If you go to our website after, we have a list of kind of a lot of these things, and we can give you lots of recommendations of where to get those stuff as well. So I'm going to get you jumped into the jumpsuit there. Your feet should be able to fit through in those shoes. So we have the flight suit, which is an actual aviation flight suit. So it is reasonably standard. You might luck out and find a similar one at an Army surplus store, but that's not always there. Perfect. And We're zipping you up. There we go. So there's the basics. And so it was Mara. Okay, Mara was the thing. We have standards here. Standards. You gotta look good here.
Good God, fold that collar over.
Yeah. All right.
Your shoes.
So now the next thing, which we're going to just kind of skim over this, but we have the boots, the army boots. These are fantastic army surplus. The actual ones that they wear do have a zipper down the side, and I believe those are paratrooper boots.
Yep.
Officially. So these are fine. We're not going to be sticklers. Oh, you don't got a zipper. Yeah, that's no good. We're not gonna, that sort of thing. So you have the boots. Army surplus store for those. The next thing we're going to look at here is the belt. So we have a pistol belt here. Again, GhostbusterFans.com, Army Navy surplus. I got mine from Amazon. I got mine off of Amazon. Then it recommended all these holsters and guns to buy. So you want to have the belt here. Again, a little bit of a different color for GB2 there. On it, you want to start out with some basic leather key fobs and whatnot. And those are available on different Ghostbuster sites, eBay, things like that. Very cheap, very inexpensive. We're not too expensive quite yet. You know, between all of this with the flight suit, we're kind of around $100 or so. Somewhere in that neighborhood, depending on what you get the patches for. So now, I'm going to tighten this up a little bit for you. Just so you can make sure it fits quite well. And just before I do strap it on, I do have a couple other items on there. I just want to talk about just real quick. This is just a holster for the trap, which these two gentlemen will be talking about momentarily. And we have this doodad here, which is officially called the belt gizmo, because nobody really knows what it does. So we have the motherboard, which connects to the daughter board there. This is just the guts of an old calculator that they just ripped off, and would have to display the numbers there and stuff like that. So those things are on there, and we're still going to take them off. See them leaning over, and it does look like it's going into the back. Again, this is one of those things that it looks fantastic, but poses no really specifically obvious purpose. All right, so right here we have a pretty not too bad cosplay so far. Another thing we're going to. How's that feel so far? Do you feel fantastic? Looking good, maybe a little big, but it's all right.
Feels right, Cameron.
Next up, we have some elbow pads, which are actually knee pads. You can go to gbfans.com and they actually did some replica ones of them. They made themselves those ones. You got it. So when you get them, these are volleyball knee pads. This is what I bought. Bought them off of Amazon. That's how I went. Volleyball knee pads. I bought gray dye with them because they come white. Them in the gray dye, they come out looking like this. They are shortened up a little, so I stitched the inside so that they are supposed to be shortened up, and they are supposed to have a black patch on them here. So yeah, it's kind of got it there. Yeah. So they're gray. They're volleyball knee pads. The original company that did make them went out of business, but actually I ordered them from the guy. There's a delay with the order, and he emailed me. So sorry about the delay. So you're a Ghostbuster or a volleyball player? So I guess this guy was used to getting all his orders. So you can just slide those on. The elbow pad, the knee pad, fantastic. The $79 was really, really great. It was the first kind of proper Ghostbuster item they had come out with. To holster it, there's a couple different options you can get. Some people sell holsters for them online. This is for a tape measure. For construction purposes, put your tape measure in there, hang it off your tool belt, and fits beautifully there. Latches it right in. It's almost like it was made for it. So we'll stick that on your belt here and get that one on it. You can take it out, explore it if you would.
Although, when you go in Toronto and ask for the paranormal investigation equipment selection, be prepared for a few odd looks.
So the PKE itself, like I said, was $79 from Maddie. If you can get it Canada side, one of the vendors down there for like $100 to $110, that's not a bad deal by the time you get shipping and duty. Very possibly get dinged with that. It might be worthwhile to buy it on this side. Just don't spend $300 on it on eBay or something.
Unless we're selling it to you.
Yeah, unless we're selling it. Because
then buy it. Yeah, it's all going for a good cause.
Yeah.
Us.
Our charitable things that we work with. All right, are there any questions so far? Because we're gonna kind of get a little more advanced coming up next. Anything you want to know about
Anybody?
what I've talked about?
3. Okay. 1. Okay. I guess it's my turn. So, next up, we're going to start talking about, well, you know what, let's get to the big, meaty question. Let's get to the pack, right? Because everybody wants to talk about the pack. After that, we're going to talk about some of the other smaller bits of electronics, some of the traps, some of the goggles, some of the other little bits and bobs that we have to make us look this awesome. But let's go to the pack first, all right? Your standard proton pack is an assembly of usually a variety of different materials. Fiberglass, resin. They're making a lot of them with a lot of aluminum these days, right? It really depends on one thing, well, two things really. One, how much money do you have and are willing to part with? And two, how much weight do you want it to have? How real do you want it to be? Okay? Because unfortunately, these two things really work in opposite directions. The less money you have to throw at this, the less real it is going to look. The more money you have, the more real it will end up looking. Some of these parts have not been in production since the 80s, and they really weren't that popular in the 80s. And they have not become more easy to find in the now 30 years since then. But they are out there. There are websites, there are companies that sell you almost all of these. The trick is, of course, knowing which ones to go to. All right? Now, this one is my pack. It has a fiberglass shell. The fiberglass has a aluminum coating under it that's been electroplated to it, which means, in layman's terms, that when it gets scratched, it looks like there's aluminum under it, right? You will notice during this entire presentation, we tend to go the Star Trek route, in that we will throw you a very complicated, technical sounding thing, and then we will try to boil it down to a really simple analogy. Like filling a water balloon full of too much water. See how that works. All right? Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of this, how this was made, and that is spare parts in a prop lab when the movie was first made. It was literally a very unplanned thing. They basically went to their prop guy and said, look, it's got to look good and like someone kind of made it from scratch. And that's when they came up with these. All right? Now, the whole thing is based off of an Alice frame. That's a retired military type of frame that the U.S. Army has. These, everywhere. eBay, Amazon, you can get these almost anywhere these days. You're probably going to spend between $50 and $70 on it. All right? So, let's get you suited up, shall we? So, you're going to put your arm through there?
Yeah.
Come on, give her a hand.
I'll pull the cords.
So then, okay, these straps here. Just pull them back and it tightens like that.
So how many
Pretty
people
easy to
does it
fasten.
take to dress a Ghostbuster?
And there was a reason why you see, like near the end of the movie, how they were actually helping each other put them on. They actually needed to help each other put them on. It wasn't in the script.
Good. How you feel? I still feel good, Barley. Any questions? Anything you'd like to say or know before we get going? No, you can do whatever you like. All right, perfect. All right, how's it feel? How's it feel?
Heavy.
It feels heavy. Yeah, it does. These tend to be about 35 to 50 pounds, depending on what you are making it out of. And I know, conceptually in your minds, that seems like whatever. I get orders from Tim's that weigh more than that. But when you are wearing it on your back, especially for long hours, it does start to grate on you. It is a very trying thing at times. But yeah, it's not bad, right? All right, so next let's draw the stick. So, you're throwing a wand, right? Go ahead and press up. All right? With it. Oh, ye of little faith. We're not banging rocks up here. We know what we're doing. All right. So, lights and sounds. Basic electronical work. Electronical. Speak English, be good. Basic electrical work in one of these packs. All right? You'll have a light these days they are streamlining a lot of it into basic kits. Stuff that a lot of people with only a very little amount of knowledge can do. In the olden days, back when many of you weren't born and dinosaurs ruled the earth, it was stuff you had to do a lot of yourself. You had to figure out what the resistor and what the capacitors and what everything needed to be. These days, more or less, you can go online and find a kit that will give you basically everything, and all you need to do is buy the surplus. All right? So, if you press this button, hold it down.
Should we all be moving to the back right now?
Don't worry, I've got the safety on. Just don't press that button. Don't press the button. Good God, woman, you'll endanger us all. All right, now, for mine, hold it down. Oh, there you go. Rookie. There we go. As the bar meter drops, she'll actually start to sputter. And it's a little hard to show, but the back cyclotron, the lights, turn around. The back cyclotron and the power cell actually start to speed up as it gets strained. All right? This is a high-end kit. This one is a little bit more expensive. It has a little bit more of the bells and whistles. It is all able to be run off a single 12-volt battery. That is something I valued when I was putting it together. It is by no means the only way to go about this. It's cool, isn't it?
Wasn't that funny when they were like catching Slimer in the hall and they didn't know what he was going to look like, and then they came in and saw him all goofy looking?
Oh, well. All right. All right. Are there any questions about the pack? Any questions about the pack, the construction, the
There's got to be a
maintenance?
question about the pack.
Come on, no one, don't
There
lie.
has to be a question.
All right, I'm going to get you, then I'll get you, okay?
Now, when you say that your high-end kit was expensive, define expensive.
Define expensive. It's enough to get you to a very warm destination on a vacation, perhaps not enough to get you back.
Tahiti.
Well, the company that makes this particular kit is called Hyperdyne Labs.
Mm-hmm.
And this kit here, again, depending on what kind of stuff you want to get with it, how many things you want included with the kit, but you're looking between probably $600 and $1,000 for an entire kit. And that also comes with like a motor, like a small motor that is inside the handle. So when you actually press the fire button, you actually feel the vibration of the gun.
Cool.
I have actually mounted my speaker on the back board of this. So when I turn it on, I actually feel the pack rumble. It is one of those little things that no one but me notices, and I giggle like a schoolgirl every single time. The group actually was really worried about me until I told them that, because every time I put on the pack and turn it on, it's like, and it's not easy to do that with 50 extra pounds on your back, but I was committed. All right, I'm going to get you, then I'm going to get you, sir, okay? And then you're next.